So when we took our first steps on social media, internally, there were many people that asked, but we're boring B2B. Will anyone actually like us? Well, as it turns out, they liked us a lot. But it wasn't long before we got the inevitable question. Okay, 1 million followers. What's that in dollars? And it was a question we weren't quite prepared to answer. Up until that time, we'd used social media just as a test, really. We posted big pictures of our beautiful ships and measured purely based on likes and engagement. But with that one question, our new focus was born. From communications to commercial, without losing our community spirit. But we didn't even know where to begin. Like I said, we'd just been putting out pictures of ships and people seemed to be liking them. We didn't know anything about our audience. We didn't know who followed us, what content they want to hear from us, or how they want to use our channels. So we conducted a social media audit to determine all those things. And we found out some very, very interesting and very, very compelling data. So now that we knew that our customers are there and they're interested in what we had to say, we had to figure out, well, what are we going to say? And if we look at this graph, the key takeout from here, if we look at the teal and the light grey section, basically they just want to hear more from us. In particular, they want official news from Maersk Line. Surprise, surprise, they still wanted photos of vessels and containers. They wanted the opportunity to have discussions, and they want service updates and general news about the industry. All right, so we're starting to get there a little bit. We're starting to understand our audience and what they expect from us. But we also asked them how they want to use our channels. So with this information, our new social media channel strategy was born. And in its most basic form, it looks a little something like this. Now, I'm going to preface this slide by saying not Jamie or anyone else at LinkedIn has paid me to say this, but LinkedIn for us really is the jewel in the crown of our social media marketing channel empire. We use LinkedIn for very much thought leadership and talking about our position in the industry, and we use Twitter to engage with the media, which we know is one of the strong points of Twitter. We've spoken a lot today about ecosystems, and I think that's a really important point. For us, we always see the best results when our channels are successful in their own right, when LinkedIn is doing really well, when Facebook is doing really well, but they're working off each other. They're not cannibalizing each other. And once you've got your social media channels working together, how does your entire social media strategy work with email? How does it work with your banner ads? And then once you've got your digital under control, how does it work with events? And finally with PR. So this campaign actually used 10 different channels. And I know you're probably thinking 2 leads, so what? And that's another thing that I really like to stress today. It's about being true to who you are. Maersk Line knows we're not Coca-Cola. We're never going to be cool. We're never not going to be sexy, although I find it pretty sexy. But 2 leads for us is really good because they're each worth millions of dollars. So for us, it's not about trying to be the Red Bulls of the world and being popular. Red Bull is a fantastic example, but we need to remember who we are and stay true to that. We've spoken a lot about talking and the content we put out there and the activation of campaigns. But I think we tend to forget that 50% of communication is actually listening. And perhaps it's the most important part.
And what's next for Maersk Line?
Well, now that we have these great channels and we've really started to figure out what content works well and is well received by our audience, it's all about personalized customer journeys. So we're really focusing on creating those personalized customer journeys and also IT integrations. So social media has to work in tandem with our other marketing channels, and it's about getting that back of house IT stuff working so that every system is working with each other.